Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. Not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2023, the album, Dad, Shimmy Shimmy AF. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I know, I want you, painted, the release. Peace. Oh man, I have some things to talk about today. Okay, so I went and saw the Barbie movie last night, but I'll save that for another video. I'll save my thoughts on that for another video. Have you guys gone and seen the Barbie movie? I just have to say, this will be my one thought that I will say. I've seen several people that have come out and they have said, oh my god, I have seen the Barbie movie like 4 times. Okay, I don't know how you sat through that movie 4 times. It wasn't the worst movie that I've ever seen in my entire life. It wasn't the best movie that I've seen in my entire life either. Okay, sit through it 4 times? Why? Can somebody explain that to me? I'm very confused. Okay, but anyway, we went and saw the 9 o'clock showing of that movie last night. I would have preferred to have gone and seen Meg the Trench too. But anyway, we went and saw Barbie because my husband was really wanting to see I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Beast. And then I came home and I watched some shows and things like that. So anyway, today is, James Charles' launch day. Oh my god, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Are y'all excited? Are you so excited? Are you so excited to rush over there and buy this junk? Are you so, can you not wait for it to put it on your face, and then months later you're gonna find out that it's probably really problematic because he allegedly didn't go through the processes he was supposed to go through. I mean, we're going to find out months later, right? Okay, so, we're just waiting. We can't wait. It's like a movie premiere, you know? It's like a movie premiere, and we've been waiting, and we bought our tickets, and it's coming out on Christmas. It's the Christmas gift that keeps on giving, apparently, these paints. But anyway, you know, I've been watching a lot of these videos about people talking about, everybody coming out and talking about the fact that he didn't, you know, the behind the scenes of the lab and the formulations and all this kind of stuff. And all of that is very interesting to me. I've talked a little bit about it too. I read some of Kevin James Bennett's posts that he's posted because Kevin James Bennett is a makeup artist and he is very, very well known in the industry. I'm going to actually read another post of his from today because he also wanted to congratulate James Charles for his painted launch day. So we're going to read his post in just a second. But, you know, I was sitting here and I was thinking about this last night, and I was, like, looking at some of these TikToks that James Charles has put up, and I, like, reread the Cosmopolitan article by Gabrielle Bluestone. You know, let's revisit Gabrielle Bluestone, okay? She's really, we should give her the Nobel Prize for creating a redemption arc for a predator, shouldn't we? So, because I loved last night in the Barbie movie where they had all these, like, Nobel Prizes for, like, made-up things, and, you know, like, Nobel Prize for horses and things like that. So, we should give Gabrielle Bluestone the Nobel Prize in Literature for the redemption arc for a predator. So anyway, let's read Gabrielle Bluestone from the Cosmopolitan article, which, yes, is still up on Cosmopolitan. Let's read her bio. Gabrielle Bluestone is a journalist. Okay, girl, a journalist? I don't know about all that. Okay, an attorney that is defending in her piece a self-proclaimed predator. Okay, interesting. From New York, who has no idea who James Charles is, and neither do any of her friends, as stated in the article, but she chose to write the article anyway, whose writing has appeared in the New York Times, the Washington Post, New York Magazine, and Gawker, among others. She is the Emmy-nominated executive producer of Netflix Fire and the associate producer of Different Flowers, winner of the 2017 Kansas City Film Festival Prize. Her first book, Hype, which is about calling out scammers, was published in 2021. It doesn't say this, but it should. Gabrielle Bluestone has allegedly sold her soul to the devil for some cash and some notoriety, sorry. Spelling word for this week. Anyway, to get her name in the Cosmopolitan, so she can add that to her long list of magazines that she's written for in her bio. Anyway, I'm not impressed, okay, by her whatsoever. And it's just another list of names of people that James Charles has used to be uncanceled. And in fact, when you look at this article, now in retrospect, the name of this article is so interesting to me. You know, the name of the article that she wrote is called James Charles Would Like to Be Uncanceled, Please, right? And I think that this is actually some foreshadowing, because the article came out, hold on a second, does it say the date on here? It's been about 2 months, I think, at this point. Hold on, maybe a month, I don't know. I've made so many videos about it at this point. It came out July 13th, so it came out about a month ago. And James Charles has been doing all these TikToks and leading up to all this kind of stuff, right? And just recently he came out in some TikToks and he showed that he had sent the makeup to several people's makeup artists, or to several makeup artists. He sent it to Beyonce's makeup artist, and he was very excited that Beyonce had it on her face. I have a feeling Beyonce doesn't really know who James Charles is, and probably has no clue that that was the makeup that was used on her face that day, but we're going to get into that in just a second. He also sent it to the makeup artist for Cardi B, and Cardi B used it on Cardi B's face. He also sent it to Alexis Oakley, TikTok fame and makeup artist in Los Angeles. Let's Google Alexis Oakley for a second, and let's look at who her famous clients are. Alexis Oakley is a celebrity makeup artist based in Los Angeles. Her clients have included Avril Lavigne, Jessica Alba, Paris Hilton, Tana Mongeau, Candace Cameron Bure of Full House. Oh, Candace Cameron Bure, the one that isn't gonna make those movies no more because they got gay people in it. That Candace Cameron Bure, you think she's gonna keep on coming to you now that you're using that Predator paint? You think she's gonna keep on coming to you? Okay, girl, probably not. And I don't support Candace Cameron Bure at all, just to make that very, very clear. Lisa Rinna, and it goes on, Alyssa Violet and all these people, right? So I guess they apparently all support James Charles too, and having his makeup used on them, since Alexis Oakley apparently, okay, since he sent it to her and she used the makeup, apparently she has no problem with James Charles past. She has no problem with him being a self-proclaimed predator, and that he came out in a holding myself accountability video and took full accountability for it. He also came out in a second video called Open Conversation and held himself accountable in that video as well. So apparently Alexis Oakley of TikTok fame and famed makeup artist, apparently she has no problem with predators. Apparently Beyonce and her team have no problem with predators. Apparently, and that's the message that Beyonce and her team want to send out to her huge fan base. Apparently, Cardi, and I'm making a point of this because this is what James Charles wanted to do, okay? And James Charles wanted the attention for this, so James Charles is going to get the attention for this, okay? Apparently, Cardi B has no problem with predators. And Cardi B and her entire team, that's the message that they want to send out to her audience, is that they have no issue with self-proclaimed predators, okay, that are preying on minors and things like that. And Manny MUA, who he just put out a TikTok. I mean, I don't know why we're surprised about this with Manny MUA. Manny MUA, to me, in all honesty, and I'm kind of surprised he follows me on social media, because I went in and I went and looked at his Instagram, because I wanted to see if he had anything posted about this paint and all this kind of stuff. We're going to get to why in just a second. And I noticed he still followed me on there because I was looking to see if he followed James Charles. And I was like, girl, I done unfollowed you a long time ago, okay? Manny MUA might be my biggest disappointment in 2023, in all honesty. Like, to continue to stand by this, and to continue to stand by numerous people that have these allegations, it really speaks a lot to your character. And Manny MUA was somebody that I thought had really learned a lot, you know, came out and said, you know, my profession might be in the red, but my personal life is in the green, and things like that, and came out and said that numbers aren't important to him, and that money is not important to him, and that his happiness. I mean, I really, truly had, and he was staying out of drama. I really believe that Manny MUA, and I'm saying this sincerely, that this is no joke, okay? I really believe that Manny had grown and learned and changed, and I have been very disappointed in Manny in 2023 and no longer can support him. And I made that pretty clear. I mean, I made some jokes throwing the lip glosses and stuff like that, but I'm done. I'm not using his lip glosses anymore. I no longer follow him on any social media. I don't watch his videos unless, I mean, one hasn't come up that I needed to watch because, let's just be for real, he's really not that relevant unless he's supporting James Charles. And so, for me, there's no reason to watch his videos. I mean, he is literally somebody that I am so disappointed in 2023, okay? And I'm drama commentary channel and I can have my opinion, okay? So if you guys are like, this is so petty and this is a reach and blah, 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 blah. No, this is somebody that has come out and they have supported Colleen Ballinger by saying that he feels really bad for her. You know, Manny MUA. So let me tell you what happened, okay? So James Charles put out this TikTok, and in the TikTok, several TikToks, he's showing himself taking his PR paint can. It's a paint can that he's got like the paints in it and stuff like that. And he takes it to several people. Like Tana Mongeau, who I thought Tana Mongeau said she didn't want to be associated with predators anymore, and she didn't want anything to do with James Charles. I think they made up at Coachella. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure. Like, were their spirits in order that night or something? I mean, I'm very clueless as to why all of a sudden she just forgives somebody and just like she had such a hard stance against this. But apparently Tana Mongeau, who has no issue with James Charles anymore, because he came and he brought her these paints, and he brought some other people paint these paints and things like that, and he brought Manny paints, and Manny kissed him on his cheek and things like that, and gave him a huge hug and was so excited about it, okay? So Manny, when you come out and you review these paints, all right, and if, I'm just saying, if, allegedly, well, I don't even have to say allegedly because we don't know yet, but let's just say if, 2 to 3 months down the road, we find out that there is something wrong with these paints because they weren't tested appropriately or whatever. As a makeup artist on YouTube that wants to be taken seriously, Manny, I hope that you will do the right thing and you will come out and speak against these paints that you are now marketing for James Charles. You're looking past the fact that he has predatorial behavior, that he is self-proclaimed, okay? You are looking past the fact that Colleen Ballinger and all these allegations. You're looking past all this stuff. So I hope at least as a makeup artist, which that is where you have made your bank on YouTube, I hope that if something problematic comes out against these paints, because a lot of people are pointing out the fact that James Charles has already come out and said that this went wrong and that went wrong and there's no way, and so it appears they might have rushed these paints. If that is true, as a makeup artist on YouTube with absolutely no education or training whatsoever, except for that you worked at a Mac store. Oh my lord. You know, anyway, so I hope that you will come out and do the right thing, okay? Unlike Gabrielle Bluestone, the journalist and attorney, I hope that you'll come out and do the right thing, and when that does happen, if that does happen, that you will say, do not use these paints on your face, okay? Because none of you wanted to speak out against Jaclyn Hill. None of you wanted to say, except for a few people out there, that these lipsticks were problematic, okay? And that's why all these years later, she's able to make jokes about it. And you guys are the ones that continue to endorse James Charles with his predatorial behavior and continue to make excuses for it and act like it's not that big of a deal and hold up birthday cakes and all this kind of stuff. That's why he's able to make jokes about it today. That's why he's able to get uncanceled. That's why people have forgotten what he's done, okay? So I hope that at least the minimum that you can do as a makeup artist on YouTube, that is where you have made your money, is if anything problematic comes out with these makeups, since you're willing to and able to be in a TikTok, okay, accepting his PR, I hope at least you will come out and do a brutally honest review, Manny MUA. Remember when you used to use those words, brutally honest? Okay, I hope that you'll at least come out and do a brutally honest review, but I don't expect that from you. Since you got in your podcast with Laura Lee, okay, and talked about how you didn't really know what was going on and you guys hadn't done your research on the whole Colleen Ballinger, Adam McIntyre situation, okay, but then you wanted to come out and have a stance saying that you felt sorry for Colleen and what she was going through. Then you all deleted that podcast and have never spoken of it since, okay? Have never spoken of it since. Why more people aren't demanding that you come out and at least speak to the fact of why you took down that podcast is unbelievable to me, okay? And what it is that you endorse people that have predatorial allegations and you have no issue with it whatsoever. And the only reason I can think that is, okay, is that you have some inside knowledge as to the contrary of why they are not that way. And if that's the truth, then please come out and share with us what we are getting wrong. Please do a dedicated video and saying, Colleen Ballinger and James Charles are not predators, and I know why, because, and share your evidence with us. Because I think you have a duty to sway everybody's opinion about this since people are thinking the other way. And if you're such a good friend of these people and you're supporting them and you're standing by them, then you should at least come out and let us know what your evidence is. And if that isn't your evidence, then what you're doing is you're standing by them because of your career. Well, your career is in the shit tank right now, okay? It doesn't look good standing by these people. I'm just going to tell you that. Furthermore, Manny, James used you, is what he did, okay? Because when I was sitting here and I was watching all this stuff go down, what I realized was that James Charles had used Beyonce, Cardi B, Alexis Oakley, or whatever her name is, Manny MUA, Tana Mongeau, and 50 other people, or 60 other people that he had come out and he had posted these TikToks about, that he had sent these PR packages to. He used them, okay? Just like he used the Cosmopolitan article to get uncanceled. He used these people because what he knew was that if he forced them in a corner and came out and said something, they probably weren't going to speak on it. They probably weren't going to say anything, and it was a risk assessment, okay? And he sat there and did a risk assessment and thought, should I come out and speak about this because people are going to really believe it, or there's just a soundbite, okay? Because like a lot of people came over to my videos and said, Beyonce is using James Charles makeup on tour. They had taken that one clip where James Charles said, I sent my makeup to Beyonce's makeup artist, and they used it on Beyonce, and he flashed up a picture of Beyonce on tour in a concert, okay? And then he said, and then followed that up about how excited he was, and all these people believe that Beyonce is using James Charles makeup on her tour, and that she supports James Charles. This is really problematic, you guys, okay? I mean, it's hugely problematic. And what he did was a risk assessment, and that's something that PR teams do. That's something that public image consultants do, and people that try to clean up your public image. What they do is it's called a risk assessment, okay? And they say, we can come out and we can say this, but like if we have to take the fall for it, it could be more damaging. Do we think that that person is going to come out and actually speak about it? Do we think that Beyonce is actually going to tweet out something and say, I do not support or endorse James Charles whatsoever? Probably not. Beyonce's too busy on tour. She's not going to come out and say all this kind of stuff. So she's probably not going to say this. Cardi B is probably not going to come out and say something about this, right? We already know Manny's not, because he's scared of his own shadow, you know? And we already know that Tana Mongeau, she don't really care about all this. She don't care what nobody thinks about anything, okay? Her opinion can change from one second to the next about all this kind of important stuff, right? Why anybody takes Tana Mongeau seriously is beyond me, you know? So it's like all these people that are supporting James Charles, okay, he knows the risk assessment is they're probably not going to come out and speak about it. But can you imagine if Beyonce did come out on an Instagram story with her face and said, I was not aware that my makeup artist was using makeup that was by a self-proclaimed predator. I cannot support James Charles. I do not endorse James Charles. I will no longer be using James Charles makeup, okay? Can you even imagine if Beyonce did that? Can you even imagine if Cardi B did that? Okay, on a very small level, can you even imagine if Manny MUA did that, right? Yes. That is why it is important that these people that are friends of theirs come out and speak against this, or at least let us know why they continue to stand by them. This is why I'm disappointed in Manny MUA, because he can't speak one way or another about it, right? And when you watch that podcast, the Colleen Ballinger thing, what you think is that he leans in the favor of Colleen Ballinger. Well, if that's the case, and there's no evidence to the contrary, then I need to know why you feel that way. Is there something that we're not aware of? Is there some knowledge that you're keeping to yourself that we're not aware of? Please share that with us if you think that it's going to change our opinion. Because I would have kind of liked to have continued to support Manny MUA, you know? But I can't if this is going to be how he's going to act, if he's going to run and hide. So I want to talk about this Kevin James Bennett post real quick. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up. Kevin James Bennett, he put this post up just in favor of launch day for James Charles. And he put a reminder, before you purchase painted merchandise from an admitted sexual predator. In this video, holding myself accountable, James Charles admits to sexually soliciting 2 underage boys he calls victims. And even though James deleted the video when he realized he had admitted to committing criminal acts, the internet is forever. And the video has been copied and uploaded on several different platforms. Then James put underneath here a reminder on the hashtag Create Paints launch day. James Charles admitted to sexually soliciting 2 underage boys, so buying his painted merchandise says you're comfortable supporting predatorial behavior. Beyonce, Cardi B, Alexis Oakley, Manny MUA, Tana Mongeau, by you supporting James Charles, what you're saying is that, like Kevin James Bennett said, is that you are comfortable supporting predatory behavior, okay? So James Charles wants that attention to throw those people up there. Let's make it very clear what he wants attention for, okay? And then underneath here, Kevin James Bennett put hashtag no hating, just stating, and hashtag don't support predators, okay? And it has 108 comments underneath here. Somebody said, people forgive the craziest things from these influencers. I really don't get it. It's like they have cults, which I agree. Somebody said, I would never understand how this was deleted. If it was an apology and taking accountability, then deleting it means you no longer take accountability. Odd. There's enough makeup brands in the world. I'll be sticking to others. Somebody said, I will never support this person. Somebody said, I still can't believe he has a career. I actually lost a friendship over him because my former friend thought he was just wonderful and made a mistake. No way, he's a menace. So I am asking too much to ask his friends that are endorsing him and making him huge amounts of money by having their face and their selves in TikToks, okay? I am asking too much to have them speak to why they continue to support these people. But here you have somebody that lost a friend over their opinion, okay? Like, I don't think what I'm asking is a lot. Those people out there that want to say, you guys are pushing these people into a corner, they don't have to, no, they don't have to come out and speak. They don't at all, okay? Let me make that very clear. None of these people that support James Charles and Colleen Ballinger, none of them have to come out and speak. But their silence is very, very loud. Their silence, to me, speaks volumes, okay? And I think that we have a right to know where they stand in very serious situations if we're going to continue to put money in their pocket or watch their videos and things like that. Somebody said, somebody goes on and speculates he's going to continue with his behaviors. He may have publicly taken accountability, but internally within himself, he either doesn't think he did anything wrong or he doesn't care. He's learned his lessons, perhaps being sloppy, and now his and his team are still emboldened to continue because no long-term consequences. Really sad in our society. We prop up people like this. Buying his products equals supporting sexual exploitation of minors. Somebody goes on and on and on. Kevin James Bennett came out and said something. I can't remember what he said. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Here it is. Somebody said, I want to just know how the feds weren't all over this. And Kevin James Bennett responds and says, the victims were minors and their parents would have to make any legal moves. We have a feeling the parents, and I'm not going to get into this because this is an alleged statement, but that maybe James Charles was allegedly trying to be calculated behind the scenes on them not coming out and speaking, okay? But further than that, all right, let's not be confused at all on what James Charles has been doing the last month leading up to his launch, okay? First, he comes out with an article in the Cosmopolitan that I believe, okay, that his PR people used as a stunt to get in the PR, to get in the Cosmopolitan magazine. This journalist, this joke of a journalist, she comes out and she leaves out pertinent information. She defends a predator. And she leaves out a lot of things in there. She doesn't ask him why he took down the video. She doesn't say anything to him about the fact that he's continuing the same behaviors when to her he stated that he was still talking to people in DMs when he said that he wasn't going to do that anymore. But she let that slide in her article, okay? Her entire article is a defense piece of James Charles so that he can launch. And that if you read the article, she says at the very beginning, but he has a launch coming out, okay? That was what that article was about. Then James Charles comes out, and he starts putting out here and here and here, these TikToks, right? Of how he has sent these makeups, which possibly might not have been tested appropriately, allegedly. We don't know yet. Time will tell. We'll find out, right? Okay. I've covered that in my last couple videos about James Charles. He sends them out to several major makeup artists that he has relationships with, okay? Relationships that these people have overlooked James Charles' behavior. Now, this is where the friendships are very, very important, okay? This is when you kind of get into the whole discussion of, like, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and people like that, all right? And since some of these people want to compare that, like the Andrew Quintana article, and he wanted to compare the definition of grooming to Ghislaine Maxwell, I will use that article as an example, okay? But this is where, you know, like Jeffrey Epstein had all these connections and all these friendships that allowed him to continue to do what he did through the years, okay? Very similar to that is where you have connections with major makeup artists that look past your predatory behavior, even though you came out and self-proclaimed and took responsibility for it, whether there was any legality that was involved in it or not, okay? So, I mean, if somebody murdered somebody and never got caught for it, and you knew that they had murdered somebody, are you still going to, like, applaud them and all of their achievements in life? Or are you going to be like, no, they seriously murdered somebody, they got away with it, right? Okay, so, and no, I'm not comparing this to murder. I'm just using that as an example, okay? Compare it to theft if you want to, okay? If somebody, like, went to the dollar store and they stole $1,000 worth of stuff and never got caught, they're still a thief, okay? Even if they didn't get caught, they're still a thief. So James Charles used these relationships that he had by networking in Hollywood and in the industry and things like that, and he used those relationships, okay? This is where it gets very, very tricky, and people want to say the friendships don't matter. The friendships 100% matter, okay? And this is a prime example of why. Then he uses relationships that he had to send them makeup, knowing that that person was not going to look at Beyonce and say, okay? We have a very, very good friend of ours that did makeup for 2 world tours on Britney Spears and the Dancers, okay? And did her hair, all right? And has done makeup and hair on many, many celebrities. I have a lot of friends of mine that have, okay? They're not sitting there talking about James Charles and his paint and makeup. They're just doing their makeup, okay? And many times other people are talking to them at the same time. So let's just be for real, okay? James Charles gave this makeup to them. They tried it on Beyonce, and James Charles threw it up, knowing, doing that risk assessment, thinking Beyonce's never going to come out and speak against this. Cardi B is never going to come out and speak against this, okay? Well, maybe they should. Maybe people should start asking Beyonce and Cardi B, why do you support a predator? Since he wanted to use them to his advantage, maybe people should be asking Beyonce and Cardi B, oh, did you know that you are supporting a predator by wearing his makeup? You're putting money in his pocket because James Charles using Beyonce wearing his makeup is a really good selling point, you know? There are a lot of people out there that love Beyonce. I love Beyonce, okay? So if I didn't know about James Charles and I knew that Beyonce was wearing his makeup and I didn't know about the history of James Charles, I might go buy some of his makeup too if I knew that that was something that Beyonce was using on his tour and that she loved. Or her tour, and that was something that she loved. I might use that paint as well. So James Charles, okay, in a very contrived and calculated way, used these relationships that he had built behind the scenes to get his makeup so that he could then have it on those people's faces. And as soon as they had it on their faces, he took that picture and he threw it up on TikTok and talked about how they were endorsing his makeup, okay? He did the same thing when he took the makeup to Manny MUA's house. He did the same thing when he took it to Tana's house. And Tana actually looked very uncomfortable when he was like filming her and things like that in her house. Well, Tana, you could have said no. You could have said no, I don't want your paint. Or you could have said leave it by the door. Or you could have said no, I don't want to be filmed. I don't want to be included in any TikTok. But you did, okay? And what it shows you is, or shows is that you're a huge hypocrite, okay? Because you came out on your podcast and on other situations and you spoke against James Charles and called him a predator. But now you have no problem with this predator paint, okay? So this is problematic. And this was all James Charles part of his PR plan to get back into good graces. He used these people, okay? He used all of these people, and they allowed themselves to be used, you know? And these people, these makeup artists that work for Beyonce and Cardi B, y'all have a lot of answering to do, okay? I mean, I'm telling you right now, if I was Beyonce and I found out that somebody had put me in a situation, okay, where I was wearing makeup that was from somebody that was this problematic, and I was wearing this makeup for my entire audience, and he was on a TikTok, it's not like he has 100 followers, okay? He has millions of followers on TikTok that are watching him. They're going, oh my God, Beyonce's wearing James Charles makeup. If I knew that, that makeup artist would be fired, okay? I'd be like, how dare you put me in this really uncomfortable situation? Unless Beyonce completely supports the past behaviors of James Charles, and maybe she does. Maybe Cardi B completely supports the past behaviors of James Charles. We won't know until they come out and speak about it, will we? But James Charles is banking on the fact that they won't. And we already know that Manny MUA won't, because Manny MUA is weak, okay? He is. He's weak. Period. End of story. And that's why he keeps on hanging on. He's a clinger on. That's why he keeps on hanging on to all these people. Okay? Because he, A, can't do the right thing, and he keeps on holding on to them, hoping for some redemption arc of himself, that maybe these people might save some kind of lost career that he has along the way. Manny, you should have just stayed out of the drama, okay? You should have come out and said, I don't support none of these people. You didn't even have to say their name. But you sure as hell didn't have to be in their TikTok kissing their cheek either, okay? You might as well have been kissing his ass. Anyway, let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.